Now the call is being publicly streamed, right? It's being recorded actually. So when you're speaking, please I don't say be careful or say something that probably implicates you in the future because people will likely watch this video. Well, so when I'm trying to explain analysis, I always use things that you can relate to. One of the things I like talking about is your outfits, right? I like look at your dressing. You can use the Bible, you can use analysis is all around you. So the first thing I always tell people that want to learn analysis is that you have to fix your instincts as a person. Right now we're going into Dune. Dune is one tool that you can use for on-chain analysis. There are multiple. There are more than I can even count. But before we go into Dune, I need your instincts analysis to be sharp. So let's take into consideration right now that you want to go out, you want to dress, and you want to go out to see a friend of yours, right? Um, this is the aspect of dressing, right? Let's now use the context of dressing. You are going to a church, right? What is the most likely thing you're going to wear if you're going to a church? What's the most likely thing you're going to wear? Confidence.
A dress.
Okay. Why not a trouser?
You just said a church. It might not be a church that accepts ladies wearing trousers. So just to be on the safe side, a dress.
Okay, that's good. Um, that's very, very true. So, you see that decision that you took right now in itself, you sat down to weigh options. You looked at the fact that you took into consideration the context. You took into where you're going to, what was going to be best suited for what you were doing, and you said, okay, no. Instead of wearing a trouser, I'm going to wear a dress, and the dress has. I'm sure the dress is not going to be short. That's one thing. The dress is going to be long to an extent. The dress is going to probably be colorful. I don't know how ladies tend to dress, but I'm sure this dress is not just going to be any kind of dress. Dress is going to have to fit in a particular bill, correct?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. Now, that thing you did just before you actually took um just before you made a decision in itself can be seen as analysis. However, it's not the analysis you are used to, right? Because you sat down to you just look at the pros, the cons, you looked at the context at which you're addressing, and you said, okay, I want to wear this clothes because it fits the bill. Analysis in summary is just to draw a conclusion to make informed decisions. So you sat down to take the variables that were available. Fact that you're going to church, fact that most now churches would accept it and not that and you wore a dress. Now, not all dresses that are accepted in say a place like Lagos might be accepted in a place like Kano. Yes or no?
Yes, I get.
Yeah, so even when you're doing analysis itself, you have to take into context as to what you're analyzing for, who you're analyzing for. If you're going to do analysis for a basketball team, it's going to be different for doing for a football team, right? Now, football team, how you take progress, shots on target, shots, big chances created, and all these things. It might not necessarily be the same with basketball because I don't think there's such a thing as big chances created in basketball. I don't know much about basketball, but still. So you have to take into context as to what you are trying to analyze and what you're trying to do before you can actively start Web3 analysis, right? Before you can start analysis in general. Now, the Web2 context is different from the Web3 context because in the Web2 context, you are just hospital, um, you're trying to get numbers, trying to have people registered, try to clean your data. I don't say generic, but the things you do are kind of like generic, right? When Web3, it's a little bit more complicated than that. So if you look at my screen right now, you see something like meme wars, um, Magnum trading bots, stock matrix, crypto buy signal. What is the most interesting thing you're seeing here?
Interesting. Interesting.
The thing that you can see and you want to know what's happening.
But
Okay.
so what?
Where is the trading bot, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's click on it. I'm sorry, Kevin, Destiny, you're open to speaking if you have anything that you want to say. You're open. If you want to speak, please go ahead.
Okay.
Right now, yes. All right. So, sir, please, Mr. Abdul, Please, the call is this is not necessarily a strict call. Please, if you want to speak at any point in time, ask question. Please feel free to. I don't say interrupt. You can raise up your hand or anything like that. I don't like a boring class where we just come and start teaching very, very generic things. I like you to interact with the class. Okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. Same thing to you, Mr. Abdul. Please, it's okay to want to come as in class. So let's go back to generic bots, trading bots. So we look at Magnum trading bots. Now, what is Magnum trading bot? We see that there was a description here. Magnum is a multi-chain Telegram text trading bot. So it has Telegram bot, linked to Telegram bot, to his web app, his Android app, his website, his refined link, and its X page. And we can see the statistics that have been done for the Magnum training bot over time. So let's look at some of the insights gotten. The users. This is actually well structured. It's actually a well structured dashboard, to be honest. So looking at this dashboard, do you have an idea what's happening in the Magnum trading bot? Do you have any idea? You don't have to be Web3 and Web3 savvy person. You have an idea of of what is happening right now.
Not exactly, but I can see users, lifetime users. So it's showing that 40,000 people, 40,000 plus people are lifetime users of the bot. I can also see traders showing that 2.5 million plus people are lifetime traders. Like I just see numbers and I can tell, okay, that this number is related to this particular thing. Aside that,
Okay. Mr. Abdul, what about you? What can you see about this and just try to understand?
Okay, I'm trying to, because I'm actually using a mobile phone to join the class, so I don't know, my phone is glitching. So just give me some minutes, then I'll drop my comments, please.
Okay. Destiny, what about you? Destiny, can you get any insights from what you're seeing? Okay. Mr. Abdul Kudos, what about you? Kudos. I don't think he is close to his phone. So, anyways, let's just go on then. So you got your insights right. Confidence actually, you got it
yeah,
pretty correct.
yeah,
Naturally, natural. What everything you said is true, but there's a problem with this dashboard. The one problem is that anybody who comes into this place and is not a Web3 savvy person, just come here to do some research and assist this, is going to have a problem with what interpretation.
okay.
Am I wrong there?
No, you're not.
Exactly. So it's actually a problem, especially even in the Web3 space, where everybody wants to build a very cool dashboard. Let's go to this meme wall right now. Let me show you something. So tracking performance among the most popular meme content. Okay, so this doesn't necessarily need much explanation as it is, but these visuals can be confusing, right? You come, you see
Yeah.
this live addresses, beautiful stuff, cool visuals. However, we don't understand what is happening here. So the first thing I want to establish is that as an analyst, you must ensure that every single time you're making a dashboard or you're doing something, you are passing across an information, right? You're not just
Yeah.
making a dashboard because it's beautiful or because it's nice. You're going to pass an information across to the next person. Now, why are we using Dune as for this thing? For why are we using Dune in general? It's because Dune itself has advantages and it has a lot of advantages. One of the first advantages I would say is that you have access to multiple chains, right? So things like Ethereum, things like Solana, things like Starknet, things like just give me names of chains that you know. Anything that sounds like Web3. Names of Bitcoin, right? You just give me any chain that you know.
Ethereum. I don't know the chain.
Yeah, you said Ethereum.
Yeah.
not
Okay.
just even the chains, even their products, right? Binance, Kraken, Coinbase, wallet addresses, everything, or wallet, sorry, everything, right? They give you access to everything that you need to be able to be an analyst in the Web3 space. Now, if anybody here who is a Web2 analyst will tell you that one of the issues that you're going to have as a Web2 analyst is that the data source can be problematic. You know that data can be fabricated, right?
Yes.
So it's a problem because people want to see the truth. You know this happen. I don't. You're a football fan now, so you must have seen Messi and Ronaldo's arguments, right?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, you must have seen how people come to say give very very crazy stats that lie. You can see a
Yeah.
Messi fan come and say that Messi has the most Champions League goals in history, and I'm like, bro,
Mhm.
what are you saying? Or somebody come and say that this guy has a better ratio than Messi.
Okay.
Ronaldo. Now these are lies, right? Is there really any way to verify these things? There is, but you see the long process you have to go through. You
Yeah.
have to go through. Now, when it comes to Web3 analytics, we don't have to go through those processes. You know why? All we have to do is just to find a place that declares Web3 data online and just show it. Once you show it, it kind of the authority that it comes with, right, makes everything everybody is saying null and void. Case in point, if I want to talk about a failing chain right now, and I'm trying to like give insights, and there are always going to be stands of everything. I'll be like, no, this thing you're saying is wrong and all that, right? All you have to do is just show them a Dune dashboard, right? And you'd be like, okay, this trade has not performed well within the last 6 months. It's not performing well now. And once you start saying all these things like that, people cannot really argue with you. There is transparency. Sorry, there's transparency when you're dealing with Web3 data, especially when you're dealing with Dune. This is why Dune is the first choice of anybody that wants to learn data analytics in the Web3 space. So that is why we are focusing on Dune. Now, Fitech itself is a community of people who wanted to learn about tech in general. It's not just limited to data. If you come into Fitech, you see designers, you see content writers, you see developers, you see Web2 developers, Web3 developers. There's a lot of crazy things in Fitech. AI, mobile, robotics, right? People that do robotics are in Fitech. It's a community of very, very crazy people doing crazy things in the community, right? But they wanted to focus more on Web3 data analytics because of the waves it was beginning to make. So they partnered up with Dun Africa. And though I am also at Fitech and at Dun Africa, so personally I'm endorsing this partnership and all. So that is so it's actually a good thing that so naturally I have to do the partnership. But why Dune exactly? Dune actually has one of the best learning curves that you can actually have when you want to become a Web3 analyst, right? So yesterday we spoke about things like Rust and Solidity. Now,
Yeah.
which analyst do you know that wants to actually have to go through all that route just to learn on-chain analysis?
Indy.
Huh?
Indy.
No, Indy was a depressed man. That's not. Yeah, but like it's not something that you're actually going to see.
Yes.
Many
Yes.
people want to just come into the chain into the space, and naturally they want to just pick up what they know from web to go ahead. So this is a problem, right? Because it became a problem actually. So Dune came up and said, okay, no, we're not going to let people suffer. We are going to actually come in and we are going to provide you the ability to do things that you just in quickly. So shows everybody who does not know SQL, then please send an emoji. Everybody is quiet. For confidence, you know SQL, huh?
Yes. 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 I do. Sorry, my line was breaking, so I didn't get the question.
Okay. So who does everybody here know SQL?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes, I
Okay.
do.
Abdul, okay. Miss Sarah, please, do you know SQL?
Yes, I do.
Well, perfect now. So now imagine having to leave SQL to say you want to go and learn Rust, or you want to go and learn this thing. You want to go and learn what
Solidity.
your solidity or Cairo. Why? You understand? I'm even angry thinking about it too. And I'm angry because I did it and it was not worth it. All right. Nobody wants to go through that very, very long learning path to say you want to just do web analytics. So this is why doing is not saying, oh, okay, we are actually going to make this easier for you. We are going to bring in something that you know, which is SQL. We're going to integrate it to our platform. And you're just going to come and you're just going to have to query your data here. If for some reason you don't like SQL, you're good with JavaScript, or you're good with Python, here's our API, right? All you have to do is call it into your IDE, and then write your code. Write it the way you know how to use it. As long as you know the tables that are in the contract, as long as you are aware of the table that are in the contract, query your data, get your insights, and then have fun with it. So actually, you don't necessarily need to be on the Doom platform to use Doom's resources. You can actually be using VS Code or whatever you want to use and actually query Doom's data. So do you see how easy they made it for everybody that's coming into the space?
Yes.
So please, with this explanation right now, do you want to learn more about on-chain analysis? Doesn't it make it easier for you to want to come into the space?
Yeah,
Right?
it makes it a lot
So
easier.
yeah, so please, who here is going to have from this explanation, who here is going to think they're going to have a problem with using June? Is anybody going to have an issue with using June? Because it's clear that since it's SQL based and you can also use your Python and you can use your JavaScript, it's obviously going to be easy to do what you're supposed to do, all right? So that will anybody here have a problem with it? Everybody is quiet. Will anybody have a problem with using June right now?
No, no, not at all. But in the case of
Okay.
where you're collecting large data, and I don't know, while we're doing the bootcamp, they talked about you can actually pay for like a subscription to get access to more, um, to pay more larger data.
Okay. So most of the time, you only need to do that on two occasions: if you're obsessed with using it, or if you have an actual job that you're working. Do you understand?
All right. Yeah, sure, sure. I do know. I do know.
Because
Thank you.
there's really because you have averagely 250 trials every single month. Right? This is assuming you want
Wow. Okay.
to this 250 should be more, no? It should be more. It should be more. So let's assume you want to do 10 you want to do 10 queries a day. You're actually going to have you want to do 10 queries a day, just 10 queries a day. You're going to have to use it for 25 days before you can run out of this thing of credits. You understand? This is if you don't even want this is if you want to even use the one that even uses 10 credits. You can use the one that is free and then you just have free access to it for as long as you want. Right?
Okay then. All right. Thank you. Yeah, sure, sure. I think that's better.
Right. So Dune itself, because many people see Dune as the holy grail of Web3 analytics. It kind of is, but at the same time it isn't. You, the person, are the holy grail, because no matter how much data you can query, no matter how big your dashboard is, completely useless if nobody can make any informed decisions with it. You guys know this, right?
Yeah, sure. That's true. That's actually the
Yes.
main going
You,
analysis
you,
actually.
you- That's true. So I like this interaction we're having right now. Please, everybody is free to interact with me. Miss Sarah, I would like the interaction, please. Right. So let's continue then. So I'm going to show you something because today's class is just supposed to be introduction to Doom. I'm not supposed to actually start going into the querying side. I think Ahmed is likely going to be the one to go into it. I do not want to teach it. So I'm just going to show you some few queries. From there we're going to have so you can see how lazy I've been over the years. Let's go to my queries. 418 queries. 18 dashboards. Question article. So, okay, let's open this. All right. So, as you can see, what kind of you notice that this is actually a normal SQL, whatever, right? But this is actually Trino. This is actually Trino based. Dune itself uses the Trino based SQL to query your on-chain data. It does not use the regular SQL that we use. SQL has different variants, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Dune uses Trino SQL. So technically, you're going to have to learn Trino SQL. Another thing that you need to also learn before you start using Dune is you need to have an onboarding into Web3. Abdul, please, were you there when they did an onboarding into Web3?
I'm not sure I was because I usually join the class late due to sometimes network and all of that. So I cannot quickly remember.
Okay, so usually there's supposed to be an onboarding into Web3. I'm not sure it's supposed to onboarding into Web3 because Web3 itself is actually kind of complicated, right? You need to understand what you're doing before you can actually just start writing queries and all that. If not, you get lost. You're likely going to get lost. So this is why there's a documentation for doing. So so has anybody here ever had any Web3 class before? Any Web3 class before where they would call you and then teach you about Web3? Has anybody ever had that before?
I wouldn't say mine is actually a class. I actually joined. There was this space I joined on Twitter, and they were just giving little basics about Web3. And I think I won't call it a full-time class. I won't call it a class actually.
Okay, that's interesting to know. What about you, Miss Sarah? Have you had any onboarding before? Sarah, are you on the call? I don't think she's on the call. Okay, it's okay then. So I'll focus on the both of you. All right. So, if you've not had an onboarding into Web3, I think it's okay if you have an onboarding into Web3, right? Both of you, is that okay?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
okay.
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 Okay. So I am going to look for the Ethereum book right now. Okay. Let me look for the Ethereum book right now so that we can actually just start with that. So I'll send you the link on this group chat on this meeting so that after the class you can actually just use the link and then. So now we're going to just start. We're going to just start Web3 from the beginning, right? So the idea of blockchain in general is just decentralization. Um, Decentralization means that there is no actual governing power to govern anything or anybody. That is the long and short of it, right? So let's use your bank as a case study. So you know how if you go to naturally now if you take your ATM card right now, you say you want to go and what's the word? You want to go and withdraw money from POS or from the bank or whatever. Naturally there's going to be some bank charges, right?
Yes. Yes. Sure.
Yes.
Yeah. There's always going to
Yes.
be some charges. One. Secondly, again, your information is being recorded somewhere. So the bank doesn't believe that right now you can receive 100 million as a stretch until you can come and declare your assets. And sometimes, even in declaring your assets, you can even still get arrested. Have you heard of people who actually made that money, went to bank and they were arrested for fraud? And then the bank then did mago and then took money from them, even though their hands were legal. Well, this is actually a problem, not just in Nigeria. It's actually a problem worldwide where corruption is in the system that's supposed to protect us. And a lot of people have had issues with this thing. So and that is one. Second, again, security reasons, right? Banks tend to use people's money to do very dumb things. They could use the money to trade. they put the money into buy. There's a whole lot of things that go on in the whole banking system that's actually not that good. So the idea of Web3 was, okay, these things are happening right now and we are tired of it. So what are we going to do? Okay, someone then said, okay, why don't we make this thing decentralized? They said that there's no actual governing power governing this thing. So instead of having to go to the US government and make sure the US government approves the money I'm receiving, why can't I just receive money from this thing from wherever into my own personal wallet, where my ID is not revealed, right? I receive money into my wallet. I keep it in my house, and then nobody knows what's happening. This is actually good, but the problem is that when you are dealing with that thing called currency, you could like let's assume you're dealing with dollar right now. Dollar is not going to make it so that their currency is just shipped or it's just disappeared, because for you to have that kind of money in your account, let's say assuming this is $1 million right now, $1 million worth of value, $1 million worth of value cannot just disappear from without a trace, right? There has to be a trace. They can't just leave the market. It's going to raise suspicion, or it's going to actually cause problem. And plus, there's not any government is going to agree to that. So the idea of decentralization came up, saying that, okay, instead of these things, why don't we make our own things called tokens, right? Tokens that are personalized to their own currency, their own cryptocurrency, and say that, okay, but we're going to keep this in our own wallet, right? Where our cryptocurrency has an equivalent. So let's say one Bitcoin right now is worth $1 because of the value that it has gained. It's like I try to use things like gold or there are different things, even stone has value. So you go into the market right now and say you want to buy you want to buy, let's say you want to buy you want to buy gold or something. Because say that, okay, today gold is worth $1, and then you buy the gold, and then you come back next year and then you say, okay, gold today is worth $2 or $2, and then you buy and then you buy the gold. That idea, it's kind of like similar to how although this is a very, very perverted way to explain it. I'm trying to make it simple. Is similar to how a token works. So a token is a token that actually is just code. Actually, it's just a smart contract. Tokens are just code. So they have value. They have what they call value, and their cryptocurrencies. So they stay. So they are made every at the time there were no multiple chains anyway. Bitcoin was the only one. Since it was Bitcoin had a native currency called Bitcoin, and it was a token. I'm sure most of you have heard of that joke that how somebody used 100 Bitcoin to buy pizza one at some point for a family to eat because he didn't think it would have value in the future. Well, jokes on him now. Yeah, things like that happen. So when they made Bitcoin, it began to they started mining it. They mined it for a while, and then after mining it, from there it then started growing in value and all that. Different people began to understand the need for decentralization and the need for the crypto market. Also, when you start dealing with crypto or the Web3 space, you realize that thing is decentralization is actually a good thing, because right now in the markets right now, or let's say in the Web2 space right now, nobody is going to compete with Google anymore. You understand? You're going to need billions of dollars in your hand to be able to pay the developers, to be able to track title with them. So there are already centralized bodies that are taking over the Web2 space, right? Bitcoin are actually kind of similar to that. However, any chain can actually go and give Bitcoin a run for their money. Just have to be consistent with what they are doing. So the technology of Web3 brought so many uh, so many advantages, although naturally to come with disadvantages, but it brought so many advantages, and people naturally began to migrate from Web2 to Web3. And then eventually someone then said, okay, Bitcoin is nice in transactions. What if we can make apps on this, right? What if we can now actually stop saying that, okay, it's just for transaction. Let's start building actual applications on this. Then the whole idea of smart contracts came up. Bitcoin did not actually actively adopt the idea. So that was where Ethereum then came into place, and then Ethereum went to the market for smart contracts, and then from there, it started having different layer tools, and then Solana came off, and then what else came up again? Uh, I can't remember any earlier one, but again, different things came up in the different things came up, right? And then people started building applications on it. So people started building applications, people started building people started doing different things basically. As they continue to build, they don't realize that they were the owners of their own data. They were the owners of everything. So before, let's assume that you are working with people right now, they have access to your data, right? Any company that you're building on, even if you're working with Python, so you're building on your platform. Python that are building application, they have their data. A problem with privacy concerns. This is why it was pretty easy to steal people's data. If you've heard of those talks that they will say that okay, today they lost over 3.8 billion people's data to the black market. I'm sure you've heard of all those conversations before. So that's how it came. But that's how it came. People, companies like Facebook allegedly, because my assuming, allegedly sold their users' data for very funny reasons. They sold the data for very funny reasons. So all these things in Web3, when you're building on Web3, you naturally begin to have ownership of everything you're doing. So Web3 gives you ownership in the sense that your data is your data. Everything about Web3 and once you're in the Web3 space is actually yours. Um, they also, when it comes to money, you have 100% monopolization of the money that you're using. Assuming that I'm trying to do, for example, I think the only thing that you would likely pay for are things like gas fees, or because naturally people that own the product or own the technology that you're using naturally also want to get paid for it to use their products. So they have things like gas fees and all that. Um, Eventually people began to realize that okay, these chains are actually making money, right? What does it take for us to make our own chain? And then people began to build their own chains naturally. That's why you see there's a serious wave of chains today. There's a whole lot of noise. People began to use Web3 to do very crazy things, build NFTs, build I don't like at some point it's even kind of crazy to even say you want to keep up with what's happening in this space because there's always something. Somebody is always building something in this thing in the Web3 space. So now there's a crazy amount of things in the world right now. There's a crazy amount of data of stuff out there, crazy amount of chains out there. But what is for us analysts, when you begin to have when you begin to have users bidding on your product, naturally money is going to come. Me and confidence about some people who were building who were web developers who just came in for the money, had a quick grab of $25,000 and then they run away. Not knowing that that's the least of you. That's the minimum of what you can get from having a good product. There's a guy I know, I think not even a guy, and I'm currently even in a space right now. It's the builder in Kaduna. This is worth a crazy amount of money. His name is Dave. You can check Blockheader Web3 on this thing on this thing. You can check Blockheader Web3 on Twitter. He actually started building products that were sustainable in the long run. And then right now, Dave, I've known Dave. We at least 4 to 5 different cars right now, right? He just because it's not he did not focus on just a quick snatch grab on things like grants or whatever. He built products that could stand the test of time. He built games. He built a couple of other things. And as you begin to build all these things, naturally you're going to get users. And when you get users, you begin to want to understand user behavior. You begin to want to understand user sentiments. So people always look for good numbers. Like, okay, today we had 5,000 users. Wow, right? And you don't understand that, okay, it could be have 5,000 users because maybe today was the launch or marketing happened today and all these things. So many things could actually cause that, right? And since it's 5,000 users that you have right now, you're likely going to get the money for all 5,000. Maybe gas fees will be paid to, okay, start 2020 to 200. Okay, I'll drop this after this class. Sorry, I don't want to this thoughts because I'm actually speaking completely from my head. I would also advise that you actually go and read a lot on the Web3 space. So I'm trying to I'm trying to streamline it to data to the use of to the need of the data analytics and analysis in Web3 space. So Dave himself built and they built a lot of products. I was talking about 5,000 people trying to understand user behavior. Yeah, you want to understand user behavior in the Web3 space, and you'll be like, okay, people came. What hour were they using what hour were they using our this thing our platform more? What functions did they click on the most and all those things? Naturally, if you have an application or if you have a product, you want to understand people who are using the app, and this is the entire and this is why data analysts are very important in the web space. Now, people who don't have products that are sustainable in the long run will never really see the use of a data scientist or data analyst because they're mostly focused on things like grants, bounties, hackathons. Please is there anybody here that's had things like that happen in Web3 space? Hackathon, grants, bounties.
Yes, I even did one recently.
Yes, I've
You
had
said
one.
what?
I applied for a bounty recently.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, yes, of course.
Hello, Abdul.
Yeah, I'm here. I've heard of hackathons and a few bounties like that. I've heard of them.
Well, there's one thing that you need to say after everything is all said and done. Nobody uses those products that win bounties or hackathons. They just use it to make awareness. Oh, we won a hackathon. Yes, won a hackathon. Yeah. When it comes to pitch deck, where pretty boys are you, they can make pitch deck. They can do add PowerPoint for easy for them. It's them well. But after all that, you and you get the money, it's like $50, $50, $50, and then you get the product, right? You use the product, upstock and extra. I'm just exaggerating though, but there are a lot of ripple effects that have come up from this. Why I'm saying this is because if they never took initiative to build what he has built right now, I would not currently be in the build at the moment, and I would not be an analyst today. It's because he built product and he realized that there is need for data analysis. About I talked about it yesterday. I can tell you about it. Or should I sit on the call right now? How I became an analyst in the space.
Please do, please do, please do.
Ah,
Yes,
that's
please do. Thank
crazy.
you.
So what? So it was actually quite crazy. I started off as a software engineer, then I moved to machine learning. Then I think I moved to machine learning, and then as of last year, we went to Lagos. You've heard of Lagos Web3 conference, right?
No.
Ah,
No, no, I haven't.
I don't think so.
yeah.
I haven't.
Wow. Web3 conference that happens in Nigeria every year. It's by Ethereum, anyways. So we went for for Lagos Web3 conference. Ethereum and this not just Ethereum and Stack. Basically, every product or every chain comes there to pitch out stuff. So last year I was there. It was a hackathon that followed it, and we won a bounty on Rootstock. Yeah, I forgot that Rootstock was also a chain. Won a bounty on Rootstock. But as I won the bounty, I was asking questions like things like, is there any for data science or data science or three? Some people said yes, some people said no. One guy there told me that there's no company and no website right now. I will not need it now. So I came back and then I was thinking, is this thing true? Is this thing true? Is this thing true? And I spoke to Dave. Now, I met many other people before Dave. I met so many web developers. I met so many web3 guys. Not one person said that data analysis was useful in this space. They all said even if it's there, you're not making any money. Even if it's there, even if. When I told Dave that one, Dave was looking at me like, how did you even think of this thing? I then told him that, okay, this was I heard in Lagos. He then said, yes, actually, that the problem is that you're not meeting people that are building for the long run. And this is the problem with most Web3 products, is that nobody is planning to build a product that will continue to for the next 5 years or 6 years. They are planning to win money today and live today. Data analysis is only useful as to when you want to build it long run. There's a whole lot of stories that actually come after this. I can't really go too much into it because confidence was laughing at me yesterday when I told her about it. And I don't want to go into it. But I think maybe if we have a one-on-one, I'll just suggest it's a lot of mental breakdowns, a lot of tears happened, but it took a lot. And as I kept on doing it, I then realized that the problem why you're not hearing data analysis in Web3 is because everybody who's data, well, most people who are in Web3 anyways, I'm trying to say this, they're not thinking of the long run. They don't want to be billionaires. They just want to buy the latest MacBook and the latest iPhone. Haven't you noticed this about most of the Web3 guys you see?
Honestly, you're saying the truth. Honestly, that's what most of them are actually after.
Exactly.
Confidence, please, am I wrong?
No, you're not.
Everybody wants to buy the latest iPhone, latest or Samsung, and you know how they can dress like Yahoo boys now. Where should you can hold your phone in your hand, go around, talk like I know. This was recorded by I'll tell a little bit to crop this part out so that they will not arrest me or something. So yeah, so what was I saying first? So that is what most people want to use it for, and that is why you're not hearing about Web3 data analytics as you're supposed to. It's not because it's an irrelevant thing; it's because nobody's building anything to last a lifetime. Which reasonable company do you know in the Web2 space that doesn't have a data analysis? Please, data analyst, please name one. Do you think Facebook would have got to Facebook level if they didn't have a data analyst every day, building graph, building dashboards, and showing it to them? Please name one person, one company that is in the Web2 space that did not have a data analyst. This
Yeah,
is the problem itself with Web3.
It's not.
Because
It's not
Web3
even.
boys, nothing concern them. You said what?
It's not even just a company. There is no firm, no organization. There is no. In fact, the smallest firm has data, so they need data analysis. That's just the truth.
So, thank you very much, Abdul. Yeah, I didn't even think that far, but you thought that far. I mean, you have something to say.
yeah. I think data is very essential for company and even real estate industry. You need data to be able to beat your competitors and perform very well. So it's very essential and it is indispensable anyway. Hello, can you hear me? Yeah.
I can hear you.
Yeah, I said there's no industry that doesn't involve no company. I've not seen any. I've not seen any.
I want to say how I actually like I need to do that people who actually got what is done so they actually their own that was what they were. I'm not saying this is so I actually took on the data from last time right? And taking a look at and if you hear these stories of how they got it, you start crying because most of them didn't live with what lifestyle. They were just very unlucky with their life and all that. So imagine having to like start sit down and be very carefully, correct, and then end up with really clear. So how can you tell me that there's this new company right now that's having plans to actually move forward? They are looking for that and it won't make any sense. But because politics have become but it's still strong. And so apply for grants, get it there. Go to Stacknet, get it there. Go to Bootcamp, get it there. Go to List, get it there. Go to Base, get it there. Go to Bitcoin, you get it there. And they have time to do this. You understand? Once they've gotten all the money that they can get over at that point time to be over like $400,000. You understand? They begin to fight themselves. I'm sure you guys have heard about what they get. They always fighting themselves. Have you guys heard any story like that? Well,
Yeah.
it happens.
So some of them
You heard,
actually,
you heard it,
some of them they always cash out on Twitter sometimes.
they always, sometimes always because of money.
Actually,
It's because of that's what happens now. So this is why you are actually seeing it then when you then have a change, like I think the first thing I ever worked on was I know something I was a church. That's when I ever want about over $60 I feel. So I mean that much of time. It's if I that because they were expensive. They didn't understand what was going on. Yeah, ecosystem. I just said, okay, explain the thing. We don't really have much. Let's have that said. So let's organize a small hackathon. People should come out and explain to us what we do. So the game where I think I was like, it was actually $300. Yeah. $50. Five to two I should have come first, but it gave me second. So let's move on from that. Anyways, what else? What am I doing? Yeah, so what else? And I put it, and then when I started investing into the chain, they said they like my analysis. That why the other guy came to the text, he digitalized more in my budget. I just focused on line graphs and all shit. He showing rise and fall over time. I didn't show how long. Yes, that was what it was. But then again, the guy at that time I had a year of experience. I had a training. So I had like 1 month of experience. So if you come second and beat that, I think that was good. Right? You guys should clap for me. You guys send me emoji and clap. I'm not going to be emoji. And anyway, so I began to learn more about the behavior of this thing of what I realized that there was about before the job we go outside, you understand? Even if they are the analyst, they don't be to us. There's no hard information on that. Case in point, now, where I am right now at the building, they know me, the analyst. They know, I think we are three, me and engineer. Aside for the guys that are currently learning about. So why would if anybody is an analyst right now, they're not going to put stuff on Twitter now. They're going to come and say, hey, how about any of your guys are they available? Yes, yeah, so come on, take them, let them work. That's another reason why we feel people forward for doing Africa. But as you guys are doing right now, you guys are posting online. And again, I don't know why web analysts are always scared to post online. Because I post online, get that 1, 2, and 3, and then it's supposed to 6, 7, 8, and then you begin to engage the photos and everything. You begin to create awareness of what's happening. People who are alone or scared to go into this thing, when they are scared and they are there. There is more fun. There is more I don't say fellowship, more community mindset between the developers and the race between them and there is with the analysts. Right? So this is the problem. This is why you're not actually seeing a lot of opportunities in the web pieces and this. It's not like it's not there. There's a lot of I'll go behind the scenes. Sorry, somebody asked raise their hand up to ask a question.
okay. It's concerning the fact that people in the Web3 and data analytics space they don't get to post often. I don't know. I'll speak for myself. I'm not so familiar with Twitter. I won't say I'm not familiar, or I don't really know how to navigate or create a proper thread for whatever it is that I'm doing. So that's one of the reasons why sometimes I hold back. in posting.
So I'm going to give you one. I don't say it's a sad advice, but the advice I can give, right? I think you should just do it. I think the failure and the mistakes you're going to make are part of the journey.
Actually, I'll
All right,
to that. Thank you.
all right. Let me give you a story. It happened this way. So earlier in the year, so there was a meetup that somebody had. That somebody that they had started. So I joined the meeting and the guy was talking about a lot of things. Actually, this guy actually was starting. What the fuck? And I came down. But what does an analyst even do in this space? So I would then sit down and I feel yeah, like okay, that is true. So I think after you then said some keywords and keywords. I didn't realize that. I got it. So I went back to the night, said yes, that call you had that day when you took the conversation to we went back to look at the move for the figure three analysts and realized that one of the mistakes that started past that they have so much freedom, they have so much that they have so much. They don't really understand the user behavior. So she actually learned things for a while, and then actually I realized the contract that he was actually working on process and realized that there were some mistakes he was making. And I was to make sure that if I never ask that question, people don't answer to is it making me, is it mainstreaming or it's not really? Not at all. But the fact that I actually went from people on one page and I saw that somebody placed a $200 bounty and anybody who can really give that for things. What what does that tell you?
I'm actually here. I sorry if I cannot respond to what you just said just now because my network keeps breaking. Your voice comes up then
Okay.
goes down again, please.
I don't think it's your network. It's happening to me too.
Okay, that means it's probably my own network. Let me try and get closer to the Wi-Fi. Can you guys hear me now?
I think
Yeah,
it's
it's better.
Oh, it's better, huh?
Yes.
God, I hate Starlink so much. I can't believe Glo is better than Starlink. Anyways, can you? But I think it's better right now. But okay, let me see what's from me then. So I apologize to everybody. But you can hear me a lot better right now, right?
Yeah, it's better. It's better.
So like I said, that one,
Is it just me or am I not hearing anything?
I'm also not hearing anything. I can barely hear it
Oh,
at all.
okay.
can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. I can hear you now.
What's happening?
I can hear you now.
All right, all right. Please, if there's ever a time you cannot hear me, please just let me know.
All right, then no problem.
All right. All right then. All right. All right then. All right then. So yeah, so that's what actually kind of happened. So now I'm doing different people posting different things about starting and that one question kind of like changed everything for me and for everybody. So right now I'm currently working on something I do about like yeah that part of the journey is the beginning and the end. So if you don't, because you need to have a funny story to tell the guys that are coming up or the next people person you see that okay, I joined the course also time when I met with guys also time and then we discussed also things and then after we discussed this guy did I did this and then look at where I am right now. You know it's going to be a nice story next by this time next year, right?
Yeah,
Actually, it is.
shows
Yeah, but
growth.
then exactly you have to measure your growth and when I started Twitter, I hated Twitter because I didn't really understand it. When I started this thing it was a problem for me. Now it's quite easy for me right now. It's quite easy for me right now. Some of the first things I open every single day I come to every single day I want to pick up the phone. The first social media I open is Twitter. I think you should just start. So this class was not supposed to be a technical class, it was supposed to be an onboarding class for you itself. Now, I actually cannot sit down and then start explaining to you every single little minor thing that you will need for game itself. If you can see my screen, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can. We can.
If you can see, one of the things that we are doing is a web-based platform that allows you to create public blockchain data and aggregate into digital dashboards. Now, one of the advantages of doing is that the data here does not lie. Once data is declared on chain, it's true. Right? If it even tries to fabricate that, if anything even happens, somebody will go to somewhere, everybody will know that hey, this guy's saying something. So that's one of the advantages of um, what's the word of um of um of the advantages of doing basically. So right now, I want you guys to actually see. Please look at my screen. There's a place called Get Started right now, right? Computers and all that. You have an assignment, and since it's just the both of you, I can actually be more intentional with both of you. So Abdul, are you a beginner or have you gone for anything?
I wouldn't say I'm a beginner, but I've taken some steps to.
Yeah. Please, I'm going to drop my Twitter handle and my phone number because I want you to message me so we can talk. Because I'm actually want to teach as much people as I can. But personally, I do not like too much noise in my class. There are 20 people in my class tend to feel somehow about it because I cannot, you cannot keep track of every single person. And for the fact that you guys stayed in this class, I'd like to give you guys personal lessons and access to talk to me whenever you want to. So if you need anything, just let me know, then I will help. Is that okay?
Sure, that's okay. I know you're going to surprise you. I'm already in your DM on Twitter. I was the one that texted you concerning mentorship from your tweet.
My other since that day, sorry, I did forget. I did forget. That means you're already serious about it.
No problem, no problem. I've been following up your post and everything, so there's no problem. I understand.
Are you Kaduna?
Sorry?
Are you Kaduna?
I'm in Kaduna. Zara to represent.
I'm meeting up. You can meet up on Saturdays now. I did the video so that I can get talk one on one. And confidence, please. Whenever
No,
you
no,
speak, I'll be
that's not fair. That's not
you have
fair.
you can come in. I told you.
Wait, but okay, I'll text you on WhatsApp or Twitter so that I will get the whole detail of everything.
No, you're very fine too. And of course, Sarah, because I'm guessing because of network issues, right? So Sarah, please, after this call, if you need to, because I know that you have more questions, please reach out to me. My phone number, my Twitter handle are there. My phone number, my Twitter handle are there.
All right.
All right. So,
Can,
this just to introduce
all
them
right.
to
Thank you, Indy.
or just give an onboarding call. This is for June itself. I want you to read the documentation. Also, it's going to give you different web3 resources Doing itself even kind of onboards you into the Web3 space. All these links, quick start guide, everything. Please read about it, right? Read as much as you can. Don't be shy to open these links, and because I know that it can be scary for the first time. You need to read about it. Read about the web app, the query engine. This is one of my favorites, to data catalog, right? If you come here, you see very crazy stuff: transaction fees, net transfers, transactions, EVM, Solana, levels. You see many crazy things that you're supposed to understand, SQL and everything. So the learning curve is kind of steep. The problem, so if you're only just what's the word? Writing code, you get confused. So what I would help you is that anytime I have any job or any gig or anything I'm working on that is if I'll share it anyway, I'll put on this call, either confidence, Abdul or Abdul. The main reason why I will not call you, but since you're in Kaduna already, and you have access to Ahmed and what's his name, and Gideon and the Budul and all. You know, you have an unfair advantage compared to the rest of them.
Sure, that's true. That's true.
You have
Emphasis
a
on
highly
unfair.
it's unfair now. Or Miss Sarah, what do you think?
You know,
Or Miss Sarah, are you in Kaduna?
Yeah, I'm a cardinal.
So you
Oh,
you're in Kaduna.
oh.
It's unfair. It's unfair. Come to Udil on Saturday.
Yeah, I come to the build.
Okay, so I'd like to see you on Saturday. We can talk. So confidence, let me suggest that we do that. Voila. So right now your assignment is just simple, right? Now I know that some of you might actually know it, but please read it again. I've read the documentation about 4 times, and I'm actually going to be reading it very soon. You can never go wrong. You can never go wrong, right? Reading 4, 5 times, 6 times, 7 times. Sometimes it helps. I would like to compare what's the word? I would like to compare what you're doing, right? Be it your religion, be it your favorite, or whatever. Just compare having in partner, like maybe your mother or a baby. If had a baby around, they can be. I think around it, just become and you can realize that even when you stay away from them for a while, that's a big deal. You need to listen. Does anybody have the skill? Does anybody have this skill? Has anybody ever had this feeling?
Not
sorry.
really.
Not yet. I didn't hear you.
Stay away from me. What is stay away from me? Well, you need to understand.
You're
And I
hearing
think there's a lot of
me.
background noise.
There's enough background voice. Noise.
A lot of background noise here.
Sorry. What I'm saying is that if you stay, I want you to get to the point where at least twice or once a day you learn something about Onchain and Datascience, right? The day to be from I think that's the problem. How I previous week is please. Right? So I want to get free. What other than I still use the one which I was doing first at the time because it helps see things from the perspective of when they're ready. Question. So what's the assignment? The assignment is to read on June itself. Even if you read it before, still read it again. And you're not submitting it to me by Saturday or today is Thursday, but by Friday or Saturday, I want to see you guys post something on Twitter talking about what you've learned. Right, you guys are just 3, so I can actually keep track of everybody here. It's easier for me. So please post something.
All right, that's a good one. We'll do that.
Yeah. So and it's true myself. I can even help you structure how to tweet, how to tweet and video. We have to start from somewhere, right? Eventually, And that's when I was here for that.
It's a good idea. We'll do that, God willing.
Because may eventually stop before to be the trace, right? Right? Can you hear me?
No, it's now that I can actually hear you clearer. I said we'll
Okay,
stick to
that's
the
it.
like you said you should go through the Dune, you should go through the Dune PDF and study it, then try and make a thread before Saturday, a post before
Yeah,
Saturday.
but by tomorrow, by tomorrow, one afternoon, post it on Twitter. Feel free to tag or not tag anyways, but however, I'd like to see so that I can know where you are. It's easier like, um, right?
Yeah, sure. I can do that. I can draft out all the things that I've picked up from the whole overview in Dune. Then before I will tweet anything or make a post, I will let you know so that you just guide me on how to do that.
No, just because I'm not I want to get better. I want to get better. Like, the learning is the and you let it work what I already I want I know because I understand next month I will know more. So you see, you understand where there'll be issues, right?
Honestly, all what you're saying just now was just fading away. Honestly, I can barely hear you. But now, once you're about asking a question, then I will be able to hear you again. I don't know what's going on.
One thing that right now, everything that if I don't I put you to share everything I know right now, this I will not learn something new. So I will not I would actually so if you learn what I know right now, it's outdated in a sense because I'll have learned something new by this time next month. So I want you to actually learn on your learn generic organically, right? Do your own things, make your own mistakes. We'll correct your mistakes, but I don't want to correct you before you make mistakes. You get?
All right, that's fine. That's fine. I'll do that. Thank
All
you
right.
very much. Thank you
All
very
right
much.
then. So please, I'll be expecting to see your dashboards, and then this is 1:46. We've been in class for about an hour now. I think it's enough. The next class is going to be next week Tuesday, and from there we're actually going to get our hands dirty writing queries. So please, when you're joining next class, please come with your laptop so that when I'm writing code, you can write along with me. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure. That's fine. That's fine.
All right.
That's
Again, I
fine.
always tell everybody that the class is open for everybody to join. But if you're coming to the class, I don't like people in the class. I enjoy just the both of you. If you're coming to the class, please, if I invite anybody, please ensure that the person is going to be serious with what we're doing. I don't want to have to come and waste effort and be talking to somebody that's not going to reply me. All right.
Sure.
All right, that's great. So, nice meeting both of you. Please let us talk more. I would really appreciate if you talk more. And have a nice day for today. Okay.
Sure. Looking forward to that. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much,
So,
my boss.
uh,
Thank you.
I'm not your boss, so, but
Yeah, about
I
to,
really appreciate it. People just wanting somebody, but it's all right.
you said to the premier today where you did even class. Thank you.
No, no, wahala, no, wahala. I'll see you guys another time. Okay.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay,
All
thank
right.
you.
Alhamdulillah. get below 100 MB. I don't know how this thing will take end. Really? I don't know. You talk about Twitter, still the kind of time don't come ever. So, yeah. But this could be in the talk too.